Okay, I just gave a short introduction about this series, and let's get into some content. So this channel is about being a QLA bot, which is following a methodology teach and preached by Dan Peña in his Castle seminar. All the content is free. He gave it away many years ago. You can check on that. If you don't find it, you can look on torrent, whatever that is. And I did manage to grab a hold of some information that way. So you can try that. If you haven't tried that, you obviously are not serious enough to take this not journey. It's a process, and it's a very lonely process, and you might see it and feel it throughout this series. So this first video is how did I meet Mr. Dan Peña. So let's look back. It was I already been fired from my probably 12-year job doing bullshit, and I wasn't feeling too much inspiration being at work. So I managed to get probably fired by the things I was promoting and to improve the systems, the processes within the company. And that didn't happen. I got fired because of that, because I tried to show it without real formal acknowledgement, and I was going to try to show it afterwards. And that led to an investigation that eventually led me to be fired. So that already had happened, and a few years afterwards, I think my grandma had died previously before getting fired. Then my dad died. Then my grandpa died. And after some days, I saw an interview from London Real about your first 100 million. So just the title caught my attention, and I saw this old guy and this interviewer, and it was Dan Peña. So that's how I met Dan Peña, and how I managed to start seeing his content. Obviously, the content I saw was that interview, and I eventually started researching more. Since that interview, Mr. Peña started having like more content on the internet about his Castle seminars. The seminars were packed, and I caught this interview like years later, so there was already content from Mr. Peña's channel. So that still content has been up and down on YouTube, I don't know, but it's still there. And I managed to see the Castle seminar constantly. I was expecting new seminars every 2-3 months, and just listening to that, just probably watching seminars, trying to get more information, doing research and investigating if Mr. Peña was legit and all that, and making sure this is really possible, because he says anyone can do it, but if you dedicate the time and the action. So I was studying this content, and it was really important to find out that you can do this, and there are sacrifices to be taken. So I was working somewhere else, so like by projects. So I was researching and partially working for some seasons, and then COVID hit, and my finances were not good, and the prospectus, the future, was many uncertainties, and I thought like, okay, the project I was working on yearly by season was not going to continue, and I managed then to find a book on torrent or whatever in English. I also bought a book on Amazon. It was like a pirate version of the book, which was a redacted version, and that one I read first. I bought it, and then I managed to find the original one, and then I knew that the Spanish version was a shortened version. So, knowing the end of the book about taking action after reading it, I read the book backwards to cheat on myself and then forward. So I did that, so I probably read twice. And the second one, I finished the book and I start taking actions after that. So that's how I met Dan Peña, and that was the day I started this journey as a QLA bot. So the next couple of videos are gonna be through COVID times, starting this lockdown, not going out and living in an apartment or some other people and just feeling the situation of the world. I was thinking this is the time to take action and pivot, or whatever that means, on my life and just focus on this. So that's how I met Dan Peña, and that's how I kept looking for content and following his seminars. And after that interview in London Real, Your First 100 Million. And that interview was translated to Spanish on YouTube almost a month ago on another channel, dubbed into Spanish, but it has been taken down. So there are some options on Spotify with the video, and the YouTube audios are still somewhere that has not been banned. So you can check it out in Spanish or English, try to find it. That interview made me meet Dan Peña virtually, and that's how I started this journey or this process. So that's a correction that Mr. Peña says. This is a process, a journey. You can meander around and fool around. This process you cannot fool around. So this is the QLA methodology to create generational wealth in the shortest time possible. So stay tuned for more on this series. Ciao.